we've not had Australia as the season opener now for about 5 years. I think it was obviously COVID-19 preventing it from being the opening race of the 2020 season. But with Ramadan taking place, of course, Bahrain and Saudi Arabia moved in the calendar to a little bit later. But Australia, it's a classic F1 opener, and I think this sort of like unpredictability, the randomness element, is that have we seen today why Australia is potentially one of the greatest like season openers that we've potentially ever had?
I mean, you were talking about recycling old material, and once again, it was chaos in Australia, although for slightly different reasons as to the last time we did. But I think it's the nature of the circuit that causes that every time. So, you know, some people, if you're more of a purist, maybe don't want to see that. And obviously, we don't want to see cars crash. But I think it is one of those things. Is it's deceptively tricky. It's a nice smooth street circuit, and it's more conventional as a circuit than quite a lot of others. But I think the mix of sort of the fact that it's a slightly different tarmac and the walls being obviously so close, still give it that element of treacherousness, sort of. And I think the drivers found a lot of that. Found that an issue a lot today. I mean, we saw numerous accidents and people just dropping it, even from sort of the even the more established drivers. And it's really easy to make those mistakes in the kind of conditions. But I think also the track layout makes it so much more. It makes it so much more high stakes as well. In that you probably are going to end up in a barrier or at least beached on the grass if it is rainy and. Yeah, if it is rainy and you do make a mistake like that, obviously the weather played its part, but I think that's what I don't know. There's something about Australia; it just feels good, and it usually produces an exciting race. It's not necessarily indicative of the season to go on, but still, obviously, interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, as you say, it generally produces an exciting race that may not necessarily be representative of the remaining season. But what it does is it gives F1 that start of the season with a bang. And I feel like obviously, the last few seasons we've had preseason testing in Bahrain, followed by a first race of the season in Bahrain. The teams have already run so many different simulations of the race on the track already by the time you even get to FP1 that they know exactly what's going to happen, because it's all in the data. Whereas, of course, Australia, it just presents that little bit of a curveball. And then, F1 starts with a bang. And I feel like that's really what's happened today.